Imagine your doctor comes in and tells you you've got stage 2 prostate cancer. He spends 5 minutes with you and tells you about the two local urologists and the potential treatment options. He walks out of the room. You go, oh my God. You think to yourself, am I going to die? Will I be impotent? Will I be incontinent? Questions run through your mind. Will my insurance cover me? Can I connect with other users? Can I connect with other people who have similar conditions, who are going through the same treatment process, or have other treatments so I can compare? Will my insurance cover me? Where do I find the answers to the questions? The answer is BestMedical. BestMedical is an internet healthcare information and social network. Think WebMD meets MySpace. BestMedical is creating a healthcare superbrain, combining the intellect and the collective knowledge of millions of users to provide answers to questions about your health and questions about the resultant life problems. For example, what if insurance doesn't cover me? Or can I have this treatment done cheaper in India? BestMedical's focus is the top 10 plus 2 conditions. These are the conditions that kill the most people and cost the most money. We'll deliver this information to our users through professional-generated content, through user-generated content, and by connecting users with other users. The market's huge. 8 million people each day search the internet for medical information. Therefore, they're competitors. WebMD, Revolution Health, Everyday Strength. BestMedical's offering is superior because we offer more information about the top 10 plus 2, and we provide real-time answers to virtually any question. We require $950,000 in startup to generate the prototype, to prove the concept, to generate revenue, and to roll out the 11 remaining conditions. The management team has significant startup, technology, medical, and management experience. And finally, we expect an exit in year 4 through acquisition to a competitor. Thank you.
I'll start. What is to keep WebMD from simply adding a blog, simply adding some sort of social network that will connect users in essentially the same way that you are?
They did in third quarter of '06. And if you go to their community section, the blogs are almost not used. There's very little traffic on those. So they did, and it's not been successful.
So what is how are you going to combat the fact that theirs have not been successful and they carry such a large user base?
We've got, I think, a unique offering. We're doing more than just blogs. We're going to have significant interaction. We're going to connect that individual with prostate cancer with someone else who has prostate cancer who's 6 months ahead in the process. WebMD, you just put a blog and people respond. We're going to actively connect user to user for real-time information to get the answers that you need to virtually any question you might have.
You describe the business as WebMD meets MySpace. Why wouldn't you just go and sell this specifically to MySpace and be done with it? Why would you? As far as the idea is concerned, the concept of it, you said it's patent pending, correct?
There are certain elements of the technology, the user interface. We've got a floating notepad that Dr. Martin will speak about later. Certain elements that are patent pending, correct? Yes.
Okay. So the elements that are patent pending, does it provide you with some type of proprietary product that could not be infringed upon by a competitor?
It's only as good as a patent, but the answer is yes. Again, my name is Todd Williams. I'm CEO of BestMedical, and this is Dr. Alfred Martin, BestMedical's Chief Medical Officer. Today we're going to give you an overview of BestMedical, talk about the competitive advantages, the team, the financial summary, and then talk a little bit about our understanding of MacroSoft's needs, how BestMedical will benefit MacroSoft, and the proposed deal structure. At this point, let me turn it over to Dr. Martin. Thank you, Todd.
I could while away the hours conferring with the flowers, consulting with the rain. In my head I'd be a-scratching while my thoughts were busy hatching, if I only had a brain. So you're thinking, why is this nut singing that up there? Well, it's to set up the second stanza. This is our whole thing. I'd unravel any riddle for any individual in trouble or in pain. if I only had a brain. You recognize that from the scarecrow. Well, Dorothy, you're not in Kansas anymore. BestMedical is creating a healthcare super brain that's going to combine the collective intelligence and experience of millions of people to bring to bear to solve problems related to healthcare conditions and the resultant life problems that come with them. No, we're not WebMD. WebMD is just a digital library. We're an interactive thinking, problem-solving brain. What we do is take advantage of collective intelligence. We enable users to work together to solve problems. Each user will contribute his or her own expertise and experience to help solve problems for the group. If you look at the IQ challenge between them, WebMD created by, respected authors, professionally driven content from people like UNC Charlotte or Duke or Harvard, but it's dumbed down. It's dumbed down to 90 IQ so the masses can understand it, so it's not that great. And the average IQ is 100, so they're reading it and they kind of understand it, but they really don't because they have no one to interact with. Whereas what we're doing is combining the brains of millions of people. So our IQ is way out in the hinterlands to help you solve problems. We're dynamic. We're focusing, like Todd said, on the top 10 plus 2 medical conditions. The reason we're doing this, each one of these things listed here has about 20 million people affected, either directly or with their core family group. And these conditions last forever. They have to have continual access to the internet to gain information. And they consume resources like crazy. They have to have drugs, they have to go in the hospital, they have to go to the pharmacy. So we've already got some sponsorships pending with Novartis and CVS and Tenet Healthcare and Apollo hospitals in India. And they consume technology. That's why we're here with MacroSoft. They're technology consumers. You hear about EMR, electronic medical records. And, I don't need that. I had strep throat when I was 5. Why do I got to put that up on the internet? Who cares about that? These people have complicated medical conditions, a very good resource, a good market for MacroSoft to be in. What's the opportunity? Well, if you take breast cancer, we're going to start with breast cancer, 20 million people. There's tons of people out there. You have doctors, lawyers, nurses, pharmacists, nutritionists, every kind of expertise imaginable. Nobody's currently connecting all these brains together to help get that content out of their brain and into solving people's problems. How are we going to do that? Well, our technology solution has 3 special points. We have a unique user interface. We think the world's going mobile, so we're fixing it for that in the short term, but we can also do it on the computer. In and out of our site real easily. The backbone has every imaginable communication device where you can get in there and not only communicate with the site, but with anybody on the site. Registered users will indicate their expertise and their availability to be accessed while they're online. And then, like Todd said, we have a proprietary floating notepad that you can keep track of your information. Let me run through an example. Think of it as a 4-channel solution. You have breast cancer, you're getting ready to get a breast biopsy. You cruise into our site, breast cancer, breast biopsy. You're offered 4 different channels. Channel 1 is professional content that's generated by professionals, vetted. We're either going to buy it or do it ourselves. Channel 2 is user-generated content. It's separately labeled. The reason for that is you go through professional content. It's not going to answer everything you want. So we'll allow people on the site to upload YouTube, wiki-type information for you. And then if you still can't find the answer to your question, you'll be able to cruise in directly to people that are on site. They're siloed according to their information. If you have an insurance question about your breast biopsy, you'll have hospital administrators or insurance executives there ready to answer. The 4th channel available would be interactive commerce, deals with our business model, and Todd will tell you more about that.
He's a Harvard MBA as well as a physician, and I didn't know it until today, but he's also a singer. Our business model, many social networks are built with no idea of revenue in mind. BestMedical is being built with an embedded revenue model in mind. Our revenues come from advertisers and sponsors, from interactive e-commerce, but fulfillment of this will be completed by third parties. And then down the road, we see subscriptions and blind consumer data as other revenue sources. What's unique to BestMedical is an immersive sponsor-consumer interaction. We will connect certain sponsors directly with users for a feedback loop that benefits both the user as well as the sponsor. And then Alfred we're talking to these companies, CVS, Telenet, Apollo in India, et cetera, about sponsorships and distributions, partnerships for BestMedical through Alfred's contacts at Harvard. The management team, as I mentioned before, we've got startup experience, we've got technology experience, we've got medical experience and management experience, as well on our board of directors. We have even stronger. We've got a CEO of a health company, publicly traded health company. We've got CEO of a tech company, an ex-executive from WebMD, and then a leading geneticist. The competition, there are 2 primary competitor groups. The first would be the healthcare information companies that you recognize. The second would be the social network companies, Daily Strength and Everyday Health. When you compare these 2 categories to Best Medical offering. You look at the community, the strength of the social network. We have true interaction. The health information. We've got more focused and more detailed information on our top 10 plus 2 than anyone else. And then the ancillary information, the resultant life questions that you have from the medical conditions in the website. Web 3.0, user intuitive, user friendly. When you compare these other competitors to our offering, Best Medical is superior. Our financial summary.
Can I interrupt 1 second? Sorry. What ability do y'all have at this time, or are you prepared to have as this launches for filtering bad information?
Good question.
Because you're going to get plenty of it.
Right. First of all, we're going to segment the professional data from the user-generated. So the professional data, like you see on WebMD, is separate. The users will self-police user-generated data. We will police the user-generated data, and we will have the users acknowledge that they realize that this is user-generated data and it's not to be taken as advice for them to take. And before they can sign on to the user-generated site or the user-generated information, they've got to click I agree to our terms and conditions.
Is that every time, or is that just one time?
Pardon me?
Is that every time they log on?
Every time they log on.
And because you have so many people policing it, it's actually better than what you get in the real world. I don't know how many times I've been in a party or in the weight room listening to somebody give somebody else health advice because they're friends, and it's terrible what you get in the real world. This actually online will be better because you have more people looking at it and correcting it.
But isn't that sort of a weakness too? I mean, in the United States, 15% of our GDP goes to health care. You have got a tremendous incentive out there for the insurance companies, the pharmaceutical companies to hijack your site, to pay ordinary people supposedly to post things on there. How are you going to be able to police that so that people will trust you?
How do you keep them from cheating? I guess you'd monitor it and people will report that. It happens on any site you go to. That people, you can hijack that and market stuff and take it over. People report it and you throw them out. I think that's the best way.
Yes.
Your focus on the 10 plus 2, are other companies in the space focused specifically in those areas as well, or is this your strategy?
This is our strategy. I mean, you look at WebMD, you look at Everyday Strength, et cetera. They go everything from athlete's foot to warts. I mean, everything.
Part of their problem is too much information.
It's too much information. We're going to go much narrow and much deeper on the really critical diseases that kill the most people and cost the most money.
And they have an emotional bond. That's what's great about these things, too. They want to help each other because they're in that position. And if you got a hangnail, you probably don't really care about another guy with a hangnail.
The important thing here on the financial summary is to notice the visitors, 20,000, and these are monthly visitors at the end of the year, 20,000, 250, roughly 1 million, and then 3.3. That growth curve is not unsimilar to other social networks. And then you see the revenue growth from year 1 to year 4. These projections are pre any partnership with MacroSoft. I think if we had a partnership where we ever worked something out, you'd see this curve much steeper. Our understanding of MacroSoft, looking at your materials, we feel that we'd fit best in your online services. This is a segment that grew 32% more than any other segment of your business last year, representing about 5% of your revenues. We know that you want to grow the SaaS business. You want to become a leader in this medical segment. You want to acquire other medical companies. You acquired several last year. You want to increase your ad and search revenues, and you want to grow complementary business. We can help you do this. How? First, in the medical sector. We'll help you grow the healthcare business into a sector leader using our platform. If we combine the MSN Health Portal with Best Medical Platform, that's the ticket. We'll complement your existing health offering. Health Vault is one of the companies you bought last year. That's your medical records group. It's a perfect complement, and then we also complement Amalga Systems. Beyond the medical sector, you're looking at us as a medical company. We're actually a technology company in the medical space. You can apply this technology platform to other verticals, your other MSN portals or channels, such as green living, lifestyles, et cetera. And then finally, the combination will provide increased search and ad revenue. Our proposed deal structure, we are proposing an investment of cash and services from MacroSoft into Best Medical for a negotiated stake in the company. We'll give you exclusive rights for ad placement and search on our platform, but we will need to look for, in search, seek independent sponsors and advertisers. We'll license our platform to you for your other portals, and then we'll provide access to you to cross-sell other MacroSoft services. Thank you, and at this time we'll entertain questions.
Can you go back to your financial statement, your financial slides? There. How many cases in the 10+2 area occur on an annual basis?
I'm sorry?
How many cases of the 10+2 categories, right? How many cases occur on an annual basis?
We estimate the entire market to be about 240 million people at one time in the U.S. That includes people actually impacted by the top 10, plus immediate family and close friends. So 240 million.
The studies show that the collateral victims, you want to call them, the family and friends, they do more internet research than the victims. So it's you add it all together, it really gets to be a big group.
And so your revenue line there, where you go from 1.8 million in year 2 to 31 million in year 4, what's the driver of that revenue specifically?
I'm sorry, say that again?
Where you go from 1.8 million in year 2 to 31 million in revenue in year 4.
That's just an increase in the number of users.
But where's the specifically what revenue stream? Advertising?
That's about, in the early stages, it's more advertising and sponsorships. In the later stages, the percentage of the alternative revenue sources grows to be about 20–25%. But initially, it's advertising and sponsors. Later on, that percentage shrinks as the overall percentage of the total.
What we're doing is, to start, is we're going to be building it with sponsors that are signing on, because we think the potential for immersive sponsorships is where the internet's headed, more than just banner ads. And we're going to develop different platforms for, say, like a pharmaceutical company and patients to interact together in an ethical way to make it better for both of them.
Thank you very much.